Students, today we are going to see about batch sedimentation procedure. For this, we need a 1 liter transparent measuring cylinder in which the water has been filled. And to mimic a slurry system, we are going to use the lime, the calcium carbonate lime. So the lime is going to act as a slurry to prepare a slurry, and for that we are going to use the solvent. In this measuring cylinder, we are going to add this defined quantity of 50 gram of calcium carbonate lime, and we are going to add into the water to have a homogeneous mixture. First, we need to add it to have a homogeneous mixture. You can see in the bottom the lime is going and settling at the bottom, which indicates that it has high particle density among the mixture, so that the heavier particle go and settle at the bottom, and the lighter particle floats, and the dusty particle will be in the intermediate. So now we need to make a homogeneous mixture in order to have a overall sedimentation velocity determination. Once it has been added, it's now gently mixed so that the particles are mixed throughout the measuring cylinder. This can be mixed for 30 seconds to 1 minute to have a defined mixture. So once it is mixed, so we need to have a time recording of the mixture. Now we can see the opaque white color mixture, and slowly what happens, the particles start to sediment to the bottom. Can you close it? So you can see the particles start to sediment. You start see a clarifying liquid in the top of the measuring cylinder. You can able to see the clarification started to happen from the top, and you can see the particles start to sediment. You can see the movement of particles slowly moving to the bottom of the cylinder. So the sedimentation is happening due to the gravity, because the particle has the mass. So due to the density, it is settling now. Can you see the clarified liquid? So now we need to measure the time taken for the clarified liquid. So now it is in the 700. So slowly we need to start measure the time interval until the particle settles at the bottom and the water becomes clear. So we need to estimate the time taken, and from that we need to estimate the sedimentation velocity. Can you show here? You can see the compression zone forming in the bottom. Okay, zone settling. Okay, you can see the compression zone forming in the bottom. This is one layer. This is the clarified layer, and there was an intermittent layer that is slowly moving down. So we need to check the time taken by these particles to slowly settle up to the bottom. Even now it is now loosely packed. Slowly, if you leave it for some time, these particles start to compress into a cake at the bottom of the measuring cylinder. So we need to estimate that particular time. Yes. Now you can see the clear demarcation between the lime that has been added and the water, and you can see the particles flowing throughout the column. Okay, so this is the batch sedimentation. So we need to estimate we need to plot the graph between the velocity and the time. Okay, how much time, the length, and then the time taken by the particle to sediment with respect to time. Yes. Okay. As I told earlier, if you leave it the measuring cylinder for some time, the compression zone forms at the bottom of the cylinder, which means that all the particles have started to sediment and reach the bottom of it. And still there were some smaller particles that are floating there. That might be due to the lesser density, and sometimes what happens, there was an impediment happens because a particle will impede the other particle to sediment. And also, as I told, we need to measure the velocity and the height of the zone that has been formed. For that, we have made a graphical graph sheet that are attached over, because here the readings are in the volumetric manner. So as I told, we need to measure the height. So for that, you know that graph has a 1 centimeter. Each cells are 1 centimeter. So we pasted a graph to measure the height of the zone that are formed with respect to time. So with time, the zone has formed, and finally it is at nearly 4.5 centimeter. Okay. So we need to plot the graph between height of the zone at different time interval after the immediate mixing of the lime into the water. Thank you.